How many things can Elon do? I mean, it's like
Twitter's one too much, man.
It's crazy. Lynn Alden went full-blown offensive
I was
against him. I mean, it is, I don't care how gifted you are, there's no possible way you can do all these things well. And we often say we wish you just focused on SpaceX and left the other stuff.
I agreed with Lynn's points. I think that he's obviously brilliant. The guy's brilliant, right? There's no if and or buts about that. But he can be pretty annoying. At the same time, and I think that that's where people get frustrated. And once you get so many haters, it's pretty easy just to double down on things that torque people, because it's kind of your way to kind of rebel. And you read Elon's autobiography. There's a really, I think it's Ashley Vance that wrote the autobiography. That was from like 2010,
right? It's quite a while ago.
It's an older book. It's really good, but it gets into like his childhood and how he was bullied. And I would imagine that the reason he acts out the way he does so often is kind of reverts back to maybe some of that. Yeah.
I read that years ago, and he got the shit beat out of him a few times at school, and I think more than a few times.
Yeah, I think where it gets irritating is when it starts to get actually harmful. Like I think the three of us in here would agree that we hold Bitcoin dear enough, and the dysfunction of the financial system concerns us enough that when people just make light of shit, it's irritating, and you know that it's tangibly harmful for a lot of folks.
Yes.
Like when you change the Twitter logo to a Dogecoin dog, that actually is going to hurt people, and that's frustrating. And
coincidentally, the Dogecoin top was when he was on SNL babbling about it and dressed up as Wario. That was the week that Dogecoin hit the just under $1 or whatever, and a shit ton of people piled in and lost 90% of their money at this point.
It's the same point I made with Cuban, which was pretty much when we had it out.
Yes.
Was that exact same time frame as when Elon was on Saturday Night Live, and I was just like, listen, like, you have a massive megaphone and you're choosing to pump literally a scheme, and that's my issue with you. That's why I don't like you. I think you could be doing way better things. And his big thing is, well, we're just having fun. We're like, you can't, try to prevent people from having fun. And it's like, okay, well, we view what this is going to do for the world very differently. And that's where the disagreement's happening. And I think that's where Elon cannot stand the SEC.
Right.
And so Elon is putting up this Dogecoin logo on Twitter because it's his way of thumbing his nose at the SEC. And what's lost on Elon is people like the three of us that look at how powerful Bitcoin is and how much we're trying to educate the world on having people understand the power that it will wield and usher in this whole better life for humanity on a net basis. And he's out here trying to thumb his nose at the SEC, and that's more important to him than the other. And maybe it's because he doesn't have the time to invest. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Elon at all. I guess I'm just trying to look at why he's acting the way he is.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's got much time for anything, especially running the myriad of companies that he owns at this point. And there's also, with Cuban and Elon, they've also made so much money that this kind of stuff doesn't matter to them. Financial stuff, as far as the money is concerned, I don't think Elon owns any houses or yachts or anything, but it doesn't matter. He's got no issue with money. Neither does Cuban. Neither do most of these other billionaires besides Bill Miller and his son seem to genuinely get it. I think you posted a video today. I watched that this morning. That was great. But other than those guys and a few outliers, like these people, just, it doesn't matter to them. They've killed it in the fiat system. There's no reason for them to be, posting up this Bitcoin thing when it doesn't benefit them in any real meaningful way.
Well, the other thing too, guys, is that billionaires are used to being able to kind of bully their way into whatever, right? Whatever new project they enter or market they crest into, they usually have the clout and ability to pull the strings to move things in their favor. And here comes this Bitcoin thing that just completely inhibits this, that just doesn't give a shit. Mind you, with a community that's often very abrasive and fawns over them way less than any other community they've been a part of. And it can be a recipe for irritation and friction, for sure.
You don't have to get it when you have that much buying power at your disposal with stored energy, or however you want to whatever tool you want to use to understand what that means to have all that money or all that currency. They do not have to be right early. They can figure it out really late in the process. I would argue even after post 50-50 parity, where Bitcoin is just as valuable as the entire fiat currency system, they can be after that with how much buying power they currently have stored to their name, and they're still absurdly rich if they start to migrate at that point, right? And so that's lost on a lot of people that are seeing it just drastically change their lives.
Yeah.
They just don't have to. They don't have to be as right as most other people need to be.
Such a good point. And you just alluded to it. The inverse is true for people that are strapped. We talk about that on this show a lot, Preston, is that I'm hesitant to say this because, I think that into perpetuity, Bitcoin will be a great haven to preserve buying power. But in terms of life-changing, family-changing, generational wealth procuring opportunity, that ship will sail for a firefighter that's got $10,000 of free cash flow a year to put into Bitcoin in who knows what that time frame is, but life-changing opportunity will eventually set sail and crest over the horizon. Just the opposite of someone that's a billionaire that can hang out and wait until they see the whites in the eyes and until they fire the arrow. So,